Wilmington, Delaware, a city of two worlds. On one side, tall glass buildings where big banks work. The other side, poor neighborhoods where families struggle and fear creeps in at night. The opioid crisis hit Delaware hard. People of all ages quietly stopped waking up. When that happened, three men saw a chance. They built something dark and powerful, and they thought they could do it forever. Wilmington and Newcastle are places with pride and history, factories that once hummed, but things changed. Jobs left, schools struggled, drugs filled the corners. It started small, a little here and there, a pill, a bag of powder. But somebody saw it and said, what if we do more? That somebody became three people, and their operation began quietly in early 2015. Dwayne White was the leader. He was smart. He was careful. He rarely showed his face in bad scenes. Instead, he was like a spider at the center of the web, pulling strings. He had rules, lieutenants, guys who followed orders, took risks, made moves, and feared him. He traded in heroin and cocaine, tier 4 or higher, which means big weight. He was charged with racketeering, conspiracy to commit racketeering, conspiracy to commit murder, bribery, and more. 21 charges total. He built layers between himself and the drugs. But one by one, investigators peeled them away. Lloyd was the number 2. He worked the money. He took dirty cash from drugs and tried to make it clean. He opened shell companies, fake businesses, false ledgers, tax filings that looked real. He fooled banks and taxmen. He looked normal, but numbers never lie. When investigators looked, things did not match up. He was charged with racketeering, conspiracy, money laundering, tax evasion, 2 counts of second-degree conspiracy, 6 felony counts. Damon Anderson was the engine. If White was the brain and Lloyd was the banker, Anderson was the legs, the hands, the trucks, the routes, the distribution. He made shipments happen. He watched corners. He selected drivers. He spoke code on the street. He made sure drugs moved from here to there. But even sturdy legs stumbled. When a driver got caught, the chain began to fall. He was convicted for conspiracy to commit racketeering, 2 counts of drug dealing, money laundering, tax evasion. They ran from early 2015 through fall 2017. That is almost 3 years of power. It was the biggest drug dealing enterprise Delaware had ever seen. The Department of Justice called it massive. Investigators watched. It was like planting seeds. First, a low-level dealer fell. He got caught with a bag. He named someone. That name led to more names. Soon, White, Lloyd, and Anderson popped up in conversation. But the investigators needed proof. So they tapped phones. They watched wires. They pulled bank records and mapped money. They flipped other dealers and they asked questions. Who pays whom? Who hides what? Who can testify? They built a case. They rolled the net tight until no one could slip away. They found shell companies and tax records. They traced payments. They caught phone calls, orders about shipments. They heard talk of paying off witnesses, threats of violence. They heard talk of murder plans. Those phone calls are why they could convict, because recorded words are hard to deny. By 2017, investigators knew it was almost done. They had witnesses who would talk. Some spoke to reduce their own punishment. Some spoke out of fear of prison or regret for lives lost. Those witnesses laid the bricks in the case. They described seeing deals, hearing threats, watching men get paid, counting money and carrying bags. Some shook in court, some cried, but their words mattered. When June 2019 came, it was hot in the courtroom. White, Lloyd, and Anderson stood before the judge and jury. Families watched. Some families nodded quietly. Others stared. Some were silent. Some were angry. Prosecutors spoke in hard truth. They laid out every charge. They showed tapes. They showed money trails. They brought receipts. They told the story of a kingdom built on addiction, fear, and broken hearts. The jury listened. They heard that White ran a criminal network. They heard that Lloyd hid money everywhere. They heard that Anderson moved product with precision. They heard about threats, murders planned, drugs delivered. They heard about tax money slipping away, dirty deals washed in banks. When they left to decide, silence filled the room. All three men were found guilty. Sentences were heavy. White got 54 years plus probation. Lloyd got 30. Anderson got 25. Those sentences shocked people, but they were a message. No matter how deep someone buries the truth, the law will find it. The empire was gone, but Wilmington and New Castle had to heal. Parents remembered lost children. People remembered sirens. Life on the streets began to change. OD calls slowed, but grief doesn't disappear. That is the truth about drug empires. When one falls, others try to fill the space. Friends become enemies. Violence can flare. The story of White, Lloyd, and Anderson ended, but the story of addiction, pain, fight, hope, it continues.